So, what does it take to hold on to your beliefs when it costs you literally everything? Today, we're going to trace one family's incredible 500-year story. It's a journey that kicks off in the misty valleys of 16th century Switzerland and stretches all the way across continents in generations.
This one sentence, it just perfectly captures this whole saga of conviction, persecution, and, well, endurance. This is really a story about what happens when personal faith collides with absolute power. Okay, so our story begins right in the fire of the Protestant Reformation. A time of massive religious change. But it starts with this radical twist that put ordinary people, farmers and craftsmen, on a collision course with the state itself.
You've got this guy, Huldrych Zwingli. He was a revolutionary figure for his time, for sure. He stripped the churches of all their fancy images. He switched the services from Latin to the language of the people. He preached a return to the Bible. But here's the catch. His Reformation was also a pretty cautious one. It was guided by the city council, and it was still tied to state-sanctioned traditions like infant baptism.
But some of Zwingli's own students felt he just didn't go far enough. So in 1525, they met in secret and performed the very first adult baptism. And you have to understand, this was a profound act of rebellion. They were committing to a faith that was voluntary, a church totally separate from the state, and a radical path of nonviolence.
And this right here, this was the fundamental split. Zwingli's Reformation was a partnership with the state. The Anabaptists, they demanded total separation. And this wasn't just some theological debate club, It was a clash of worldviews that would very, very soon have life-or-death consequences.
This belief in a free church, one that wasn't controlled by the government, came at an absolutely incredible cost. The very same authorities in Zurich who had championed reform now turned viciously on the people who had once been their closest allies.
And then, in a shocking turn, the state made adult rebaptism, an act of personal faith, a crime punishable by death. The message was just brutally clear.
And they enforced this law with this chilling, cynical cruelty. They called it the third baptism. That was their term for executing Anabaptists by drowning them. That same year, Felix Manz, one of the movement's founders, became its first martyr in the Limmat River.
And look, this persecution wasn't just targeting the leaders, it was hitting ordinary families. City archives from that time list names like Konrad, Peter, and Uli Strickler. These were just farmers and craftsmen who were being fined, thrown in prison, and banished for the simple crimes of refusing to baptize their babies and meeting up for secret prayer. So, when you're facing that kind of relentless pressure, what do? The Stricklers and thousands of other families, they really had no choice but to flee. And this began a multi-generational exodus, a long search for a place where they could just live their faith in peace.
And this wasn't just a single trip. This was a centuries-long migration. Think about it. They fled over the Alps into Germany, they endured a truly perilous voyage across the Atlantic, and then they kept pushing westward with the American frontier.
The promise of the New World, specifically William Penn's holy experiment in Pennsylvania that offered the freedom they'd been seeking for generations. Here, in the fertile lands of Lancaster County, they could finally build meeting houses instead of hiding out in forests. So, through all this upheaval, a specific set of values somehow endured. These are character traits that were forged in the fires of persecution and on the rugged frontier. This is the legacy of their incredible journey.
Across 5 whole centuries, a really consistent set of values emerges. It's like a kind of family DNA. From the weavers of Zurich to the farmers of Ohio, their story is defined by this heritage, a quiet strength, a focus on honest work, and a really deep-seated integrity.
And get this, that family DNA isn't just a metaphor. Modern genetics actually reveals a direct link right back to their origins. The bloodline is marked by a specific alpine haplogroup, a genetic signature that echoes the resilience and the deliberate nature of their Swiss mountain ancestors. Pretty amazing, right?
Their legacy is really this dual inheritance. You've got the discipline of the builders, the artisans who create things that last, and then you have the unwavering conviction of the believers, the people who risked absolutely everything for the sake of their conscience. At the end of the day, the Strickler story isn't just about the past. It's a really powerful reminder that the values we live by, the choices we make today, that's what creates the heritage of tomorrow. So it challenges all of us to consider, what story will our lives tell?